I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya.
We're in this together, so I understand, but there's a balance here.
But that said, some Flagler County residents continue to express anger over the closure of area beaches. County Health Officer Bob Snyder says one resident sent him an emotional letter. He read it to us.
Dear Mr. Snyder, keeping our Florida beaches closed is a serious government overreach. It's wrong, and you know it's wrong. No government agent can infringe on my First Amendment rights to peaceably assemble. If you think a law is going to keep people from ever dying, you are deluded with your own self-importance, as most bureaucrats tend to get when intoxicated on their power. Regrettably, people die. The true statistics show that the flu virus typically kills tens of thousands of people each year, as does automobile accidents. The majority of the people that die from the 19 virus have underlying conditions. They are dying with 19, not from 19. Grow some testicular fortitude and state the true facts and open up our state. Stop playing God.
Snyder didn't release the resident's name and says he appreciates their thoughts, but says the public threat from COVID-19 is real.
Of course, we cherish our independence and individual liberties, but, when faced with a deadly virus that's 10 times more contagious than the flu, a novel virus that we're just learning about with no vaccine, no antiviral medication, no treatment other than supportive care, it's incumbent upon everyone to do the right thing and practice behaviors that we've all been communicating over the last few weeks. A person's freedom to do what they want versus what is in the best interest and common good of the community will sometimes be at odds, especially when we face an emergency like this in a pandemic.
Snyder says it's not right to risk the lives of healthcare providers and our most vulnerable by leaving the beaches open. As first responders risk exposure to COVID-19, Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley talks about the testing plan. Tony Magoo reports.
With us this morning is Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley. Sheriff, you hear about first responders up north catching and getting sick from the virus, so I'm guessing your folks are making contact with people every day, and you have to be concerned for their safety.
There certainly is concern within the first responders, just like there is in the community. They're more susceptible, in my opinion, because they're interacting with hundreds of people a day.
What's been the order from your office about your men and women gearing up?
We've asked them to wear their face masks when they're interacting with the community. Sometimes they have to do a foot chase and tackle someone and get up close, and they don't always have time when they're jumping out of the car.
Finally, what about testing?
The testing criteria will be as if they say yes to any one of those 4 or 5 questions.
And for you at home, those questions are, do you have a fever, a dry cough, shortness of breath, and breathing difficulties? For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
A couple of weeks into online learning due to COVID-19, the head of Flagler Schools is giving us an update. John Arking has the details.
Flagler School Superintendent Jim Tager says their virtual learning program is moving along as best as they could have expected, perhaps even better.
We have contacted over 99% of our students. We have been doing some door-to-door visits for kids that we have not been able to get in touch with. So we are accountable for all of our students except for 39 at this point. I'm going to press our principals to get hold of those other 39 by next Friday. So we feel really good. It's not the number I expected. When I asked for the information, I was a little bit curious as to where it would be, but over 99% of our kids have logged on or are participating to some degree, so that's really good.
Tager said a big part of that success went to the teachers who've been making it work under unforeseen circumstances, but also parents who've adapted well to the change. He also thanked the school board for purchasing the updated Pro version of Zoom to make things easier on everyone while also providing needed security. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
We have local people fighting the coronavirus fight.
Mayor Melissa Holland said that Tony Hoffman's Diagnostic Solutions Laboratory here in Palm Coast has been approved to do more COVID-19 testing.
We will now have a greater availability to offer more tests to our community because a local company has stepped up in a tremendous way, and our stakeholders worked overtime to get through this approval process.
Holland said that Diagnostic Solutions is one of 41 labs on the FDA's website approved for COVID-19 testing. While the lab has tested the novel coronavirus across the country, the mayor said that Hoffman wanted to make an impact here in his community. To listen to more talk of how the coronavirus is affecting Flagler County, download the Flagler radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, Tony Hoffman talks about his company and why they want to help during this pandemic. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.